What up, YouTube? And I've almost have this head assembled. I left the one valve with the spring and retainers, seat and keepers, and valve stem seal out, just so I can show you guys how I do this. You're gonna need some. If you don't got a valve spring compressor, I use channel locks. So I'll put them in here, squeeze them. Use 2 zip ties on either side to hold it compressed. Got your valve seat, the spring seat, keepers, and retainer, OEM retainers. I'm using that with Brian Cowher springs, single spring, not dual. I got valve grinding compound to reseat the valve to get better seating on the valves so it doesn't leak any type of compression. 10mm socket, so when you do install the valves, the new stem seal, you're just gonna put it like that, push down on it, give it a little tap with a hammer or whatever you have. Some snips to cut the valves, the zip ties off the spring. I got a drill bit with a piece of vacuum line from your intake or so, zip tied to a drill bit. So when you're putting this valve through the valve guide on the other side, you're gonna attach it. You're gonna leave this. You're gonna put a little bit of oil on this right here. So when you do start spinning it, some Tap Magic's a little bit of oil, lube it up, so when it spins, it doesn't chew up this spot where it guides through the guide. I'll record right now the last one. I've already actually did this head. This is the ported side. I'm finishing the intake side. I already got the exhaust side done. You guys can tell. Using the same method with the springs, crimping them down with zip ties, just like this. Don't go all the way to the very bottom with the zip tie, because then you won't be able to get it out from when it releases the pressure on it within the first 2 or so. Oops. But within the first 2, like so, just like that. See, I got it in between the first 2 and the first 2 in the bottom. You're gonna need 2 of them. So you need both of these, just like this. Make sure you don't lock. Put both of them. Give it a little tab, bend the tab right there. Push it through. But bam. Get it ready. When you do squeeze it down to compress it, to put the valve retainer and the keepers in. So I'm gonna get this ready to go and do the last valve for you guys. The spring seat, the valve, the keepers, new valve stem seal. Super Tech. That's what I use. They're about 12 bucks. And you got I'm using OEM retainers. I'm gonna grab this like so. Put it up like so. Put a little oil on just a spot that's shiny. Put it up in the valve guide. Turn it around, and this is where the vacuum line comes in hand. You're gonna grab it, and this is the valve. The valve right here itself. You guys see I'm pushing on it. We're gonna connect it like so. So it's connected now. So when you hit the drill, you go both ways, rotation. The intake side really doesn't need much. So I'm gonna grab it, put a little dab on the bottom side of the valve, like so. Then when I do here, turn around for you guys. I'm gonna spin it in. So you hear the high pitched sound go away. Do it again, go out. In and out. So the grinding sound goes away. Switch rotation. goes away, out, drying time goes away. Now pop it back out. You guys can see how dirty it is. Clean it quick. Now you got a new seat all the way around. Don't need much for the intake side because they're pretty clean. The exhaust side was pretty pitted, so I cleaned it. And then I got the valve up there. Clean it out, make sure the compound is out of there. Make sure it's pretty even. You see that's clean. What I'm gonna do is flip it back over, like so. You won't need any more of this because it's completely done. You're gonna put your spring seat, with the one with the bigger hole, down over the valve guide. Goes over the valve guide. That goes on first before you put the valve stem seal. For the valve stem seal, put it over the top. 10mm socket. Push it right over there. Push it down. I don't got my hammer up here, so I'm just going to use the drill. Do a little tap, love tap. I got a little flashlight so I can see if it sat. So it sat all the way down. Now, I got this open all the way. So I grab it like so. Squeeze it. Squeeze it, tighten them up. Remember, these aren't the dual ones, these are just the single springs. And now it's compressed. I'll do a little bit more just to get it more tighter so I don't have to push on it with my fingers to get the keepers in there. And these zip ties aren't the cheap ones, they got the little metal tab inside so it doesn't slide back open. Bada bing, bada bam. The spring is compressed. You guys can tell. So you guys see that I got the retainer on there. The spring is completely compressed. I do it in 2 steps so it gets compressed. The valve's in there. The stem seal's in there. The seat for the spring is in there. That goes on first. The seat for the spring goes in first. Then the stem, the valve stem seal, and then the valve itself. Compress this with your channel locks. Bam, bam, bam. Just like this. Have the valve zip ties, not all the way to the bottom, in between the bottom of the flat spots, so you can tighten them down. Tighten those down, put them in there, it's like so. Retainer is OEM retainer. Got my keepers. It's in there. It's in there. Pull up on it a little bit. Snip. Snip. Pull the rest of the tabs out. Close this. Bam. Bam. There you go, guys. I did this whole head like that. It's completely done. These are Brian Carr springs, OEM retainers, Super Tech valve stem seals, and this head is ported. I got my eBay extended studs here. I'm running a thermal gasket. It's got an Allen. It's flat on one side. Allen spot on the top. A little lube in there. Start throwing these in there. All the way till you get to the bottom. The lube helps it, I guess, because they're better torque reading. So I'll do that with all of them. Start installing the thermal gasket and the intake manifold today, and then get the cam. Well, I gotta wait for the cam to show up still, and we'll go from there, guys. I mean, basically almost done. So, I got a little bit of debris in there. I'll take a Q-tip and I'll clean that out and go from there. You guys can drop a comment below if you guys disagree with my methods, but I didn't feel like going down to the store to go get a valve spring compressor, and I could do this on my kitchen table easier, to be honest. It is just a single cam head. So, but for the dual springs and retainers, you will need some type of tool to squeeze them. These are just single spring, beefier. But I think it was like 58 foot-pound, or 58-pound seat pressure. These are $8 on eBay, so you guys can see them. So, they're gonna work for my application. I know that the seats, I know they're gonna seat well. They're gonna hold better compression because the exhaust sides were so pitted and bad. I fixed those. So, check you later, guys. Peace.